Hello, we are live fixing our hair because we're girls talking football. Hi, this is Cleveland Kate, my girl Sonia, mom 23RN on the Twitters and on Blue Sky. And you are watching the Our Turf Football podcast. Welcome to our Tuesday night chat about the NFL and all things NFL. Special shout out to our sponsors of the podcast, Donkey's Cheesesteaks. They have three locations: Camden, Medford, and Mount Holly, New Jersey. If you find yourself in New Jersey, go see them. If not, you can go to Goldbelly. We should be getting sponsorship money from them. You can order it, have food delivered to you. I've done it. Dana's done it. I'm sure it's better there in person, but it was very good when I cooked it at home. So highly recommend it. Sonia, how are you doing? How was your weekend?
Weekend was great. It was my birthday. We celebrated. I went to Waffle House. I had the Waffle House birthday waffle. Delicious, y'all. So good. So
You're so Southern now. After living up north for so long, you are so Southern now.
I'm so Southern now. So Southern, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Although I still say pop, and I will never stop saying pop. Anyway.
Yeah,
but no, it was a good weekend, though. It was a good weekend.
Yep. Shout out. Hey, Sue. Hey, Kristen. Thanks for joining us in chat. If you are watching us on a platform other than YouTube, we appreciate you. Same great show. But if you come to the YouTube channel, you can get it on the chat. Some of the regular chatters will send us some questions. We'll put them up on the screen and we'll try to answer those. Sorry about that. We just finished week 3 already, 3 weeks down in the NFL season.
Crazy.
A lot of surprises, a lot of non-surprises from some teams.
Yes.
And so we thought this week that Sonia and I will just run through where we're at with the standings, talk about a couple of the games that really, left an impression on us from this weekend.
Poor Kate.
I know. Trying to drink the water, but then the water went down the wrong pipe, and now I don't know if I need to drink more water or if I just need to not. So, we're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming games for next week. We're going to start getting into the European games, which I love that we're sharing football with Europe, but it just makes my Sunday mornings really weird.
It does.
So,
we're kind of like West Coast people at that point, how West Coasties wake up in football.
Yes. And they got to get up super early. If I got to watch games at 9 a.m., it serves them right. They get Monday Night Football at a decent hour, and it's on way past my bedtime. So,
right.
It's about time to share that with them one way or the other. And then at the end, I think Sonia and I are both really intrigued by what's going on in Indianapolis with the Colts. So we're going to dig into them a little bit more in depth. But let's just start AFC North and NFC North. Let's just start with the North.
We represent them.
We are very Northern girls. The Bengals just got their butts handed to them there were some AFC, NFC North matchups this week, right? The Bengals had Minnesota Vikings, got their butts handed to them. They got lucky to win that first week against my Browns with some bad teaching by us. And losing Joe Burrow, you could really see the impact of that this week. They lost, but they are 2-1.
And that is kind of a surprise to me, too. I'm like, how are y'all 2-1?
I thought they'd be 3-0, and then with the way they've been playing and with what's going on with Burrow, I don't know how they're 2-1.
That's what I'm saying. I don't get
Steelers are 2-1, which is about where I expected them to. The Ravens are 1-2. That's rough. That was a really good game last night against Detroit.
So good.
And then the Browns are 1-2. The Browns, I think, stunned everyone in the football world and the NFC North. I was getting thank you notes from Vikings and Lions and Bears fans because the Browns beat the Packers this weekend. The Packers are 2-1. Vikings are 2-1. Lions are 2-1. Bears are 1-2. Sonia, what's up with the NFC North?
They're pretty good this year. I think we kind of all called that. Game one, I thought the Packers were world beaters and that Detroit was not going to be, was feeling the loss of the coordinators and things like that. But Packers are still really, really good. Minnesota, I think, they are good. They are very good. I mean, they put it on the Bengals. There's a couple issues there, but if they're able to play at that high of a level without JJ McCarthy, who's now injured, and things like that, we got to watch out for the Vikings. Watch out for the Vikings.
Yeah, that 48-10 or whatever it was against the Bengals, to me, clearly showed how good that Vikings defense is.
Yes.
The Bengals defense has not stepped up to offset the offensive struggles without Burrow. In Minnesota, they're going to keep that defense is going to keep them in good shape until JJ McCarthy gets back.
Agreed wholeheartedly. The Lions looked great last night. That was a very good performance. I think just gritty. They went pound for pound with the Ravens, who, I thought that was going to be a really tough game, and that was going to be my prove it game for the Lions because, how they started off with Green Bay, how they played against the Bears, which granted is the Bears. So I was like, let me see these Ravens and let's see what goes on. And that game was what I expected, pound for pound. And then the Lions just took it. Their defense was smothering, y'all. Smothering. Wow.
Yeah, that was, to me, that game was going to be a real test for both of those teams. Are you a contender or a pretender kind of a thing? And they both show that they are very good teams. So I think the rest of the NFL still needs to be afraid of the Ravens, even though they're only 1-2. My Browns beat up on the Packers, and I'm not really sure why. I was at the game.
Yes, with your grandson, right?
I took my grandson Raphael. So we took Gabe to a game last year. This year was Raphael's turn to go to a game with me. And he actually got to see a win. Gabe saw a loss last year. Rafi actually got to see a win. We were down 10-0 with 3.5 minutes left. And for all the complaining that I've done on this show, on my Cleveland radio show about the Browns and the fact that special teams is a mess, special teams is what won us that game yesterday, with not just the field goal that Andre Schmitz hit at the very end, in the blocked field goal, in the way the defense played, in just everything that happened in those last couple minutes. It felt like Green Bay just thought the game was over and mentally wasn't still there. Mm-hmm. I was there. At one point, the Browns were down on the 1-yard line. It was 1st and goal, and they penalized themselves all the way back to like the 20-something and ended up kicking the field goal that made it 10-3. And then things just seemed to unravel from there with the Packers. To me, that was very un-Packers-like from what we've seen this season. And I'm willing to bet they're going to be watching a lot of the film of those last few minutes of that game, and that will not happen again the rest of the year.
Agreed wholeheartedly. I think they got a little bit embarrassed, and I don't feel that will happen again. Yeah,
and I don't like my team being used in sentences like, you lost to them, but you know what? You did. You did. As bad as this team is, and there are some other teams in this league that are bad, these are still professional football players. You still got to play till the end of that game.
Yep.
Let's head east. In the AFC East, we've got the Bills, unsurprising, at 3-0. Patriots at 1-2. And then, I wish we had Lisa today, but she's got some things on her farm to deal with. We got the Jets and Dolphins both at 0-3. Has Hipster Homebrew been fired yet?
No, but Hipster Homebrewer, I think, needs to be out relatively soon. He's gotten the vote of confidence from Stephen Ross. He and Chris Greer got the vote of confidence from Steve Ross, but no, I feel he is not going to make it through the season. I don't think he will.
But he knows the secret to winning games.
He does.
You need to win the game and not lose the game.
Plain as day. Hipster Homebrewer, everybody.
I think he is on the hottest. I think he's on the hottest seat.
He is, and I agree. They're extra bad this year. Like, not just bad, they're extra bad.
We'll
And
have
the
to see
fact
how it goes. Something's going on.
I don't know what's going on, but the fact that so many people have left and they're like successful other places, that tells me that there's something going on in that locker room. I don't know. Steven feels he will make it to Thanksgiving. I don't know.
I don't know. They don't make it that long. It helps that in their division, the Patriots only have one win and the Jets have none. They're still in the hunt for the division. Like, I know the Bills are 3-0, but if their thinking is, okay, we can't catch the Bills, maybe we can get second place, get a wild card. I mean, they're still in it. If they stay down there and the Jets and the Patriots start winning games, I feel like that seat gets hotter and hotter.
Agreed.
And it depends on how they lose. Some of the decisions he's making, some of the things that are going on, this deer in the headlights look he had during the press conferences Sunday is not a good way to keep your job. Not a good way at all. If we head over to the NFC East, you've got the Eagles at 3-0, Commanders at 2-1, Cowboys at 1-2, and Giants at 0-3. I feel like none of that is really a surprise, but I also feel like the Giants have played better than 0-3.
Agree. And I kind of feel that way with the Jets, too. I know we talked about the AFC, but I kind of feel that the Jets have played better than their 0-3 record, to be quite honest. I'll agree with the Giants, too. I think they've played a little bit better than their 0-3 record. That game against the Cowboys week 2, that was a very good game. That was a very good game. But
the Jets took the Buccaneers to the final seconds, and the Buccaneers won in a last-second field goal. And then the Chiefs and the Giants played on Sunday Night Football. And I thought it was just going to, when the schedule first came out, I'm like, oh, that's going to be a bloodletting game. I mean, the Giants were in it until the fourth quarter. Like, right? Their defense was doing their job. They were keeping Kansas City, it ended up being 22-9, but it was like,
it was close.
16-9 for a long time there. Like, they were in it. So hopefully the Jets and Giants will figure themselves out, turn whatever corner it is to turn, or maybe Lady Luck will just smile on them a little bit. Because I feel like those teams have played a little better than their records sound.
Agree.
AFC West, we've got the Chargers at 3-0. And then you've got the Raiders, Broncos, and Chiefs all at 1-2. I don't even know what to do with that division. The NFC West is almost the same in that you've got the 49ers, so lucky, at 3-0. Right. And then the Rams, Cardinals, Seahawks at 2-1. That division is – the Seahawks have won 2 in a row. The Seahawks put a beat down on this weekend.
On the Saints.
44-13. I'm sorry, is Big Red here?
No, he's not here. Big Red, we haven't seen you in a couple of days. Hope you're okay.
Maybe he's not the answer.
We don't think Spencer Rattler is the answer. Lisa feels that they're holding out for that they're tanking for that LSU quarterback, Nussmeier, I think is his name. But yeah. But I don't know. I think I'm most surprised by the Chargers in the West divisions. I think that, not in a bad way. I think pretty good that, we thought that this is going to be their year to show us what you got. And Herbert is definitely doing that. Now they've got a couple of injuries to deal with because Najee Harris, granted, he wasn't like a huge part, but definitely, something to look at. But if Harbaugh has them playing the way that we know that they can, and that defense is no joke, it's their division.
Yeah, they took the Broncos this week by 3 in a pretty close game. The Najee Harris injury is rough because he was out for most of the offseason recovering from last year's injury, and they were like taking their time, rehabbing him, making sure he was okay before they brought him back, and then to get another injury. It's rough. I'm still trying to find a new fantasy football quarterback. I picked up Russell Wilson. I blame myself for what happened with the Giants last week. I got Daniel Jones now. We'll talk about him in a minute.
Oh wait, yes, I got to give my.
I might
updates
be.
for
We'll find
Tuesday.
out if I'm jinxing his team by picking him up for my fantasy team. But yeah, I mean, I think those two divisions are going to end up being very competitive. They're gonna the Broncos and Raiders are going to figure it out. The Chiefs are obviously going to figure it out. They're 1-2. We couldn't believe they were 0-2. So I'm not
Are
real
they?
concerned about
Are
them.
they going to figure it out?
I think so. I think
Okay.
it's still early, right? We talk about these
True.
first few weeks. And I think when we talk about, the first 4 to 6 weeks, really for teams to figure out who they are, we tend to talk about that. I do anyway, from the standpoint of teams that lose a lot of games in those first few weeks
True.
while they're figuring it out and shaking off the rest. But I think teams that win early, like the 49ers, like the Buccaneers, like the Eagles, all NFC teams that are 3-0. In the AFC, you've got the Bills, the Colts, and the Chargers. Some of them have already figured out, know who they are, know what they're doing. You know what I mean? The Eagles, the Bills. Some of them, and we'll talk about the Colts now, the Colts and the 49ers, I think are playing above their ability. And maybe they'll never figure that out and they'll just keep winning because they don't know they're not supposed to.
Right.
NFC South, you've got the Buccaneers at 3-0, and then you've got the Panthers at 1-2, Falcons at 1-2, Saints at 0-3. Let's before we get to AFC, let's talk about that Panthers Falcons game. 30-0. Like, it's not even that the Falcons lost to the Panthers. 30-0. What did your Panthers? You live down there.
I don't live down there.
You're closer to the Carolina than I am.
They are, I don't know what's going on with them, but they actually looked like a legit team. And so you know that they have it. I didn't think that their defense was that stout to shut out the Falcons, but I didn't think that the Falcons were going to be that. They just looked awful. They looked really, really bad. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's like, I mean, they have not figured out how they want to use their team. They have 2 prolific running backs. They have, they have Michael Penix, who can be a good kid. They have not figured it out, and they need to figure that out, or else something is more like that. Those types of things are going to be happening more often, and I fear that their head coach will definitely be on the hot seat by the end of the season if they don't get it together.
Yep. So we got some comments from Giants fans. Dart is going to be starting this week, but their own line needs to get better. Is absolutely right. I don't know that Russ is cooked, but that O-line did not do him any favors this week. The Seahawks are better than anyone gives them credit for. Better than anyone but Dana. Dana has always given them credit. Right here. She gives them more credit than I do. She does give them credit. Smart choice with Indiana Jones. So let's go talk about the Colts. Daniel Jones was a guest of Peyton and Eli on Monday Night Football last night. And Eli asked him, his nickname was Danny Dimes when he was in New York. And he said, did you go to the Colts so your nickname could be Indiana Jones? And he said, I didn't even know that was a thing, but it worked out well for me. In the AFC South, we have the Colts at 3-0, the Jaguars at 2-1, the Texans at 0-3, and the Titans at 0-3. I am surprised by this entire division right now.
Literally.
Frankly. Maybe not the Jaguars. The Texans being 0-3 is forcing me to wonder if CJ Stroud peaked last year. The Titans at 0-3 is really not a surprise. They've got a rookie quarterback. I know he was a first-round pick. He was the number 1 pick in the draft, but give him some time. What Daniel Jones is doing with the Colts is amazing to me because they've had Anthony Richardson. They've had a couple other people in there since Andrew Luck left, and none of them had success. And I think we blamed a lot of it on the rest of the team. But Daniel Jones is looking amazing. He's scoring massive fantasy points every week. He's not turning over the ball. He looks that whole team looks really good right now, Sonia. What are you thinking?
A change of scenery obviously worked. Hang on. I'm just looking up some Daniel Jones stats because Daniel Jones stats. Like, wow. 228 yard, like quarterback rating of 113. They've got a decent O line there too. And I think that is a big reason as to why he's doing well. They have, their center is lights out. He's got great talent down there. He's got Jonathan Taylor, who's been running the ball amazing. Like it's new life. It's new life there. He breathed that in there. And I think he's got it. He's got it. And so, yeah, he's taking that team and making it look really good.
And they beat on the Titans 41-20 this week. They have their owner on the sidelines. Their owner's daughter. Isn't that?
Well, she is the owner now.
She's the owner now, right? Because Jim Mercy passed away. On the sidelines, walking around in a headset with the clipboard. I don't know why people are complaining about it, saying that she's micromanaging the team and this, that, and the other.
They're winning, aren't they?
You're winning. You're 3-0. She can micromanage whatever she needs to micro. I don't believe her presence has anything to do with what's going on. No. But I do think it's nice to see someone on a sideline who's paying attention to what's going on, an owner who's not just sitting in a box drinking champagne and having a party. Like, she's taking this football seriously.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I like that. And, she is obviously getting into so that she can figure things out and know, get a better idea of what she's talking about. And that's what you do, right? Like when you get to a new job, you just kind of learn things. You walk around, you do all that. Hopefully she's just learning and trying not to make any huge drastic changes because things are going real great right now. So
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Boom. So,
she's keeping an eye on things. Sue thinks the Falcons look better last season than they do so far this one.
Agree.
I agree. Apparently, Atlanta thinks their receivers coach was the problem. I saw that they let him go.
Yes, they did.
And then there was another team, I can't remember who right now, who's going to have their play caller on the sidelines instead of up in the booth watching.
Oh, is that
is it the Bears? Maybe it was the Titans. I'm just like, dude, he's got a better view up there. Right. I don't know what's going on. Dana definitely believes in the Seahawks more than anyone else. Steven says, I guess we'll see, Sue. If his Giants finish 8-9 or 9-8, it will be a shock. I think they've got it in them. I will not be shocked. I think they've got some improving to do. We'll see what happens when Jackson Darts gets in there. We are all surprised the Texans are so bad this year. I actually heard people on talk radio today talking about an entire rebuild, which I felt like is what they did 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? You didn't go, but me and Lisa and Dana were all in Kansas City for the draft. They were making moves and getting a team and Will Anderson, DJ Stroud, and they have been to the playoffs the last 2 years. I don't know why people think they're done and they need to rebuild. They just need to figure out what's going on, but they do look terrible. Terrible. Sonia, what do you think Daniel's issue was in New York with the Giants? Coaching?
Good question. I think it's the coaching. Obviously, I think he's talented, and he did have that one great season that got him all that money. But I think that it's more coaching and just the people that were around him, and obviously probably morale. And, losing Saquon and just, the arrogance that's there, I think that's probably part of it. So maybe just the environment. And so, but I think immediately coaching.
Yeah, for now, Sue compares him to Darnold. I could compare him to Baker Mayfield. We could talk about Jared Goff. We could talk about a lot of quarterbacks who play better in their second or third jobs. And I think it's coaching. I think it's the environment. I think it's the scheme that's going on with the team. because you can't tell me the Colts as a team are better than what the Giants have been the last few years. They both have their issues on defense. They both have their own line issues. And Daniel just seems to be a different quarterback this year. So I'm really excited to kind of keep an eye on him. But I think for me, the Colts is the biggest surprise, good or bad, out of all the teams in the NFL right now.
Agree. That's the biggest surprise. And, after that first game that I tweeted, I was like, we might have to change our ideas on the Colts. And everybody's like, it's just week 1. I'm like, you're right. Just week 1. My bad, Joe. My bad. We have to change what we're thinking about these Colts.
It's now week 3. Yeah.
I was about to say, let's take a look at their schedule, see what they've got coming up. Let's see. They have the Rams. I think that will be actually a very good game for them. I think that'll be a nice little prove-it game for both teams. Yep. Then the Raiders, the Cardinals, Chargers, Titans, Steelers. So they have some games coming up. They still could be very well. They still could do very well.
So CP Mortimer's new to the chat. People who hate the Colts owner would have no problem with it if she was a man. I can't disagree with that. And I only say I can't disagree with it because we don't have any female owners, so I don't have a standard. There are other male owners on sidelines, and nobody says anything. We don't hear about them.
Right.
Steven says, because as a society, we are never supposed to see the owner. They're supposed to deal out the money and make the deals. I don't know if with that as a society, as a fan, I would like my owner to shut his mouth, to sit in a corner and just sign checks and hand blank checks to the front office. That's just me.
Agree.
But that's because I see Dan Snyder. I see Jerry Jones. I see Jimmy Haslam. I see some of these owners who think they know football and make me draft people like Johnny Manziel and who mess things up. You're not allowed to play with your own toys. You bought that toy, but you're not allowed to, if it breaks, you're not allowed to, you don't know how to fix it. You don't know how to fix it. If you're that kind of owner, sit over there, be quiet, drink your champagne in your booth and write your checks.
Right.
If you've been raised around football the way the Irsay family is, and some of these other owners in the league, and you can be on the sidelines and you can watch and you can have intelligent conversations with the coaching staff and you can give them advice or your thoughts about what they should be doing and work with them, then I have no problem with that.
Agreed.
So I think it's a double standard. I'm certainly guilty of it. I don't want to see them. And then if I see them, I'm going to wait and see if they know what they're doing. So far, Colts are doing just fine. So as long as this keeps up, she can keep walking around the sidelines.
Right.
This week, we have the beginning of the European tour for week 4. So Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m., the Vikings and Steelers play in, are they in London or Ireland?
They're in Dublin.
They're in Dublin, right? I so wanted to go to this game, and I just couldn't. I couldn't spend the money. It wasn't even my team, and I still would have gone. JJ McCarthy is not traveling. He will not be playing. He needs a little more time with his injury. I don't know that I want to do bold predictions for these games. Sonia, I struggle with the Europe games because it's a neutral field.
It is.
I have no idea how either of these teams is going to perform. I have no idea. I don't know what their preparation. Are they there now? Like, did they leave today to go to get the time change in? Are they practicing there? Are they doing? I have no idea what they're doing, and I don't even know if they've been before. Like Aaron Rodgers, I don't know that he's played a game in Europe before. So this might be.
He has.
I don't remember. It's been so. They've been doing them for a while now. I have zero. My gut wants to go with Minnesota because I'm so happy with the way their defense played this week.
Right.
But I think practically speaking, I'd have to give the Steelers the edge because I just feel like Mike Tomlin does a better job coaching and prepping his players for weird circumstances.
Agree. Those boys just win. At weird times, they just win. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that is this weekend.
Yep.
Next weekend for week 5, where we have 2 Monday night games next week. I hate that. I can't be
I
staying up that
do.
late. Makes me crazy. Um, October 5th on Sunday, the Vikings will travel from Dublin to London. Big trip for them.
Big trip.
I think it's 45 minutes to play my Cleveland Browns on that Sunday morning. And
Mm-hmm.
then the following week is the Broncos and Jets on October 12th. So
In
we've got
London.
3 in London. And then after that, week 7, you get the Rams and Jaguars. That actually might be a good game if the Jags keep winning. And I think
Yes.
that's the end of them. So it runs through week 7. So we got, 4 weeks of this. As a Browns fan, I'm a little aggravated because I feel like the Vikings get a leg up because they're already heading over. If they're not there already, they're going to be in Ireland,
Right.
and then they pop on over to London, and we got to get there. I also look at there's a lot of young guys on my team. Are they going to be starstruck? Are they going to be sightseeing? Are they going to be so busy paying attention to all the things that they forget to focus on the football?
Yes.
Because it's still football.
It is. And I think in those cases, hopefully that's how, like, getting to know your team and making sure that, okay, y'all, here's an extra day, get over there, do what you got to do. And then after that, we're back to football, concentrate on your game, all that. But get over there, have some fun. If you can get out there early, great. But yeah, after this daytime, it's back to football.
Yeah, and I've been to Ireland. I love Ireland. I'm gonna retire there. It's my place. It's the home of my peoples.
There you go.
But lots of thoughts. I get a lot of mixed reactions from people. I like the idea of playing games in London, in Brazil, in Mexico City, and sharing the NFL with other countries. But I'm a season ticket holder for the Browns. I'm with a group of 4 of us, so I get 2 games. So we each pay a little bit and we split the packages up. We lost a home game this year because that's a home game for us. I don't understand why they can't make them road games consider it a road game and still give the teams that have to go there 8 home games.
An extra home game.
I know that the team is compensated for the trip, so they make the same money they would have made on ticket sales at home and all that kind of stuff. But for some teams, home field advantage is a big deal. We'll see at the end of the year. That'll be something that I think we should come back and talk about when we look at the playoffs and how close some of these races are for a division or a bye week or a wild card. If any of them are teams that went and played in one of these European games, if we think that loss or win had an effect on the standings in their playoffs, and just see, maybe, who knows?
I agree.
I don't know. Like I said, I like sharing the sport with fans in other countries, but it's not like we're going to ever have a football team in London it's just not, it's not practical.
It's not physical.
We're not going to have one there. We're not going to have one in maybe Mexico. You could argue because at least Mexico City or even Brazil, time zones are more similar to us. The travel time wouldn't be as harsh. When you start heading to Europe and you're dealing with 7 to 10 to 14-hour time differences in some of these places, that's just really difficult. Yeah.
It's tough. So yeah, that's always been my thing. Sharing the game, I think, is fun. Watching the NFL fans over there is so much fun, and they have so much fun with it. And following them on Twitter, on Blue Sky and stuff like that, it's really kind of cool too. I really appreciate that. But I don't think a team needs to be over there because the logistics of it is just too ridiculous.
Yeah. The only thing you could do, and let's face it, we have computers, we can do schedules, is you schedule their first 8 games at home.
Yeah.
They play at home to start the season, and then they would come over here. And then you don't have a practice facility. You're living out of hotels. I mean, it's just...
Right.
It comes up all the time. For a while, they talked about Shad Khan. They talked about the Jaguars and just taking them, or the Carolina Panthers, just moving them to Europe. And logistically, I don't think the NFLPA would have it. You'd have all kinds of... Let's talk about taxes. do I have to pay income tax on money I learn if I'm playing football in London? And do they have taxes? And do you have to get visas and all of that international stuff?
Right.
I think it's crazy.
Too much.
They just need to take a couple college teams and ship those players to Europe and do a European football league.
Yeah, kind of
There
like
you go.
basketball.
Morty's got it. Just Europe needs its own league.
Bottom line.
Its own league. Yep. Because we have European leagues for basketball, right? Yeah. There are Central and South American leagues for baseball that people go back and forth and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I know there are a lot of people at the games, and maybe it's a topic when Dana's back because she's been to games there. Yeah. They're very rabid about their soccer, about their rugby, about a bunch of other sports. I don't know that there's enough time, energy, and money for them to devote to a whole nother team that they would have to support. You know what I mean? Like your entertainment, it's already very difficult in this country to support a hockey team and a football team and a baseball team and a basketball team.
Right.
And we're doing it now. Those of us in Cleveland, our Indians or our Guardians are trying their best to make the playoffs. And I'm like, it's football season and I got to care about baseball for a few more weeks.
Yes. Y'all beating the Lion or the Tigers right now.
Are we beating Detroit again? Listen,
epic collapse.
Let's talk about we're going to talk about baseball for just a minute. We're over anyway. I have no idea. I wrote this Guardians team off before the All-Star break. I don't know what they're doing. They were playing like crap. They couldn't hit. Nobody hitting over 200. The fielding was horrible. The pitching was even worse. And then all of a sudden, I go to Jamaica, and they're like, oh, yeah, we're just going to win every game while Kate's out of the country, and then just keep winning games. And
bro, like what?
They've lost one game out of the last, 14. And I don't know what happened when they swept Detroit. Sonia, what happened to the Detroit Tigers?
Girl, I don't know. After they were blazing, guns blazing, came out on fire. All-Star break happened, and they left the building. They have not come back since. And, they were blowing people out.
Yes.
Now they're getting blown out. Their offense was on fire.
Yeah. I have always believed that baseball is the streakiest of the sports.
Literally.
Once you get on a winning streak, you can just ride that. And once you start losing, you get that whole quicksand effect. It's one of the challenges in a sport where you play every day or almost every day. In football, I'm going to play on Sunday, maybe Thursday, maybe Monday, somewhere in the weekend. And then I got a couple days to take a step back and to reflect and to reset and to forget what happened yesterday and just look at tomorrow. In baseball, you're just going. And if you keep going soon, I think the Tigers peaked too soon. We'll see if my Guardians peaked at the right time. We'll keep
Guardians peaked at the right time. Tigers peaked way too soon. Epic start, doing great, and then can't hit for just
I
awful.
Part of the Guardians signed a Mariners fan. Preach. I understand. All right. Quickly, aside from starting the Europe games with Ireland this week, I'm looking at the schedule. Titans, Texans are both 0-3. Somebody got to win, right?
Right. I think it's going to be the Texans. Where are they playing?
In Houston.
Texans.
Yeah, my Browns are traveling to Detroit. That'll be ugly. If I were y'all, I wouldn't watch. It'll probably be 50-0 at the half. Not good. The Ravens have the Chiefs, which will be very interesting because the Ravens are not happy about losing to the Lions, and the Chiefs started off so slow. Now they're at 1-2. I think that'll be a very interesting game.
I think so. That'll definitely be one to keep an eye on.
And what was the other one that I saw? Sunday night, Packers Cowboys. We'll find out what Dallas has got this week. That's for sure. Monday night is a couple of awful games. The Jets and Dolphins, that was the other one. So we got two games with an 0-3 teams playing each other. So two people will get a win this week. Their first win of the
season. God, what if they both tie?
For Lisa's sake, I hope it's the Dolphins just because She's losing her mind over what's going on down there. All
Yeah.
right, so we've decided the Colts are actually pretty good.
Yes, we've decided that.
That the hottest seat for a head coach is
Mike
Mr.
McDonald.
Hipster Homebrewer down in Miami.
Yes.
And that, I don't know that we decided anything else today.
Baseball is
that
street.
the Packers are human, but that doesn't mean they're not going to win out the rest of the season.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All
right, y'all.
We've learned valuable lessons this week. Thank you
We
for
have.
joining us. Sonia and I will be here tomorrow to talk college football with you. Can't
That's
wait
right.
for that.
It's gonna be fun.
Otherwise, we'll be here talking NFL next Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Cleveland Kate. That's Sonia. And we
go Fever. Woo!
Go Fever.
All right, bye guys.